जब आओगे करीब आओगे तो फिर बता देना। अल्लाह
we will be beginning shortly.
Distinguished speakers and participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I am Afsa Qazi, Research Associate at the Center for International Strategic Studies, and I would request you to take your seats for the proceedings of the workshop to commence. We commence with the recitation from the Holy Quran. On behalf of the Center for International Strategic Studies, to today's workshop on defense, deterrence and stability in South Asia, organized by the Center for International Strategic Studies in collaboration with the International Institute of Strategic Studies, London. In the first place, we apologize for the delay in the commencement of the program due to unavoidable reasons. Secondly, Advisor Foreign Affairs, Mr. CISS-IISS, is unable to deliver his keynote address as he had to accompany the Prime Minister to Gwadar this morning. Ms. Aslam, Additional Secretary in the Foreign Office, will deliver the keynote address. I now request Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi, Ms. Aslam, and Mr. Desmond Bowen to come and have their seats on the panel. Followed by the inaugural session. The lunch break will be after the first session. The lunch break will be after the first session, and there will be 2 more sessions in the afternoon, followed by the concluding remarks. For now, the tea and coffee are being served at the back of the hall. You are welcome to help yourselves and have tea as per your convenience. To formally commence with the workshop's proceedings, I would request Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi, the Executive Director, Center for International Strategic Studies, to deliver his introductory remarks for the workshop. Ambassador Naqvi.
Mic line.
Good morning. Welcome to the 5th joint CISS-IISS workshop that we are holding this morning. As always, it is a matter of great pleasure and indeed privilege for the Center for International Strategic Studies to host this important workshop. It brings together professionals and experts as well as representatives of policy-making institutions and academia specializing in geopolitical and strategic issues. The subject of this workshop, as in the earlier sessions, is defense, deterrence and stability in South Asia. The concept behind keeping the same topic is to use this for updating the various issues in this area every year. This workshop, jointly organized by CISS and the CISS, is the 5th of its kind. We extend a hearty welcome to the IISS team. The members of the team will have all interacted with us, are welcome, and we are happy to see them again. We welcome Mr. Desmond Bowen, Professor Brigadier Ben Barry, Mr. Antoine Levesque, who are all good friends of CISS. And we also welcome the new team members, Mr. Andrew Dorman and Mr. Matthew Harris. My special thanks I address to Mr. Rahul Chaudry, who is in charge of the South Asia program at IISS. He has been the moving spirit behind this joint endeavor for the last several years. On our side, we feel especially privileged to have the participation of Ms. Aslam, who is currently serving as Pakistan's Additional Secretary for UN and Economic Coordination at the Foreign Office. She is a career diplomat and an expert on matters relating to international diplomacy and nuclear politics. We are happy that she will deliver the keynote speech in this important event. I am sure the audience will also be interested in the views and observations of our keynote speaker. Our chairs and speakers are experienced diplomats, outstanding academics, and prominent analysts of strategic issues. Our approach in formulating the topics in this year's workshop on defense, deterrence, and stability is an attempt at addressing our regional problems more directly than before. Thus, our first theme is tensions with India. The second theme is doctrine and deterrence. And the third is regarding politics of cartel in the in nuclear diplomacy relating to the NSG and the MTCR, the Missile Technology Control Regime. We hope that this approach will help develop a more fulsome and meaningful discussion that would be relevant to the situation today. Apart from the keynote speaker, who will convey her considered views and perspectives in a comprehensive manner, the other speakers in the three sessions are expected to make concise presentations on their specified topics, with a view to introducing the subject matter and laying out its broad parameters, leaving enough time for an active and fulsome debate in the interactive session that will follow. In the interest of time, and since we have started late, I will not go into any substantive comment on the topic, and there will be plenty of that during the session. So I will wish all the participants a fruitful and enjoyable day of stimulating discussion and meaningful interaction. And as I have said in the earlier workshops also, the great value of such events is the worthwhile takeaways that we all go away with. I thank you all. I thank you all again for coming here this morning. Thank you.
I now request Mr. Desmond Bowen from the International Institute for Strategic Studies, London, to come and give his welcome remarks. Mr. Desmond Bowen was a career civil servant from 1973 to 2008, specializing in the field of defense and security. He was part of the UK negotiating delegation, which concluded the Conventional Forces in Europe Treaty in 1990. He was the deputy head of the Cabinet Office Secretariat, now the National Security Secretariat, from 2002 to 2004, and Director General for Security Policy in the Ministry of Defense from 2004 to 8, with responsibility for nuclear deterrence policy. Mr. Desmond Bowen.
And what I think we are trying to bring is a perspective that perhaps is different from a perspective that you see in Islamabad. Our intention is to enhance our understanding and maybe others in some of these complex and perplexing issues, and to contribute to the analysis. There is very much a kind of sort of policy focus to this, but I wouldn't want you to go away with the idea that we have policy remedies or policy propositions in our back pocket. We don't. I think this is a learning opportunity, and I'm sure that we will all come away with something more at the end of this day's session. Finally, let me just say that we are conscious that this is a period of tension. Indeed, it's been a period of fairly intense tension on and off throughout 2016. So there is perhaps a particular edge to some of these conversations we will have today. And I think it's important that we understand that context. This isn't just a kind of a stable, ongoing situation. There's a particular animus that motivates some of the concerns that you will have and some of the concerns that we will have. So I will stop there and say thank you very much again for the invitation to participate on behalf of the IISS with CISS, and to have the opportunity of hearing views in the course of the day from all of those around the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. I would now request the Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Tasnm Aslam, to kindly deliver her keynote address. Ms. Tasnm Aslam is a career diplomat currently serving as Additional Secretary for United Nations and Economic Coordination at Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She was twice appointed as spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 2005 to 2007 and later from 2013 to 2015. She joined the Foreign Service in 1984 and has held important positions in Pakistan's diplomatic missions in New Delhi, The Hague, and Paris. She was appointed Pakistan's ambassador to Italy in 2007 and ambassador to the Kingdom of Morocco in 2012. She holds a Master's in Business Administration from University of the Punjab, Lahore, and a Master's in International Relations from the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University. We are privileged to have her amongst us today as the keynote speaker.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ambassador Naqvi, Mr. Bhavan, members of CISS delegation, my former bosses, once a boss, always a boss, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to begin by commending the Center for International Strategic Studies for holding the 5th workshop on defense, deterrence, and strategic stability in South Asia. It is an extremely important subject that needs to be deliberated upon constantly in order to take stock of the fast evolving situation and to explore ideas on how best to preserve the strategic balance between two nuclear armed neighbors, particularly at a time when tensions are rising. Ladies and gentlemen, this South Asian security environment is in a state of flux. The abiding threat to the long-term peace and stability in this region emanates from the disputes that have remained unresolved for more than half a century. The US pivot to Asia policy is giving rise to new tensions and alignments in the region. These developments threaten the strategic balance in South Asia. The massive acquisition of conventional arms, coupled with pronouncement of offensive military doctrine, expansion of strategic assets, including nuclear submarines, and the consequent nuclearization of the Indian Ocean, as well as the introduction of highly destabilizing anti-ballistic missile system continue unabated. When seen in conjunction with the irresponsible rhetoric emanating from the Indian leadership, the repeated aggression across the line of control and the working boundary, as well as the recent violation of Pakistan's exclusive economic zone by an Indian submarine, these developments are highly worrisome and have to be factored into our security calculus. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind this audience that ever since independence, Pakistan has sought to establish good neighborly relations with India. However, the goal of normalization of relations with India has been frustratingly elusive. Following the 1974 nuclear test by India, Pakistan made repeated proposals which were aimed at keeping South Asia free of nuclear weapons. These included simultaneous application of IAEA safeguards on all nuclear facilities and bilateral arrangements for their reciprocal inspections, simultaneous accession to the NPT, regional CTBT, zero missile regime in South Asia, and signing of a non-aggression pact. Unfortunately, all of these proposals remained unanswered. Neither did the wider international community intervene to alleviate Pakistan's security concerns. This left us with no choice but to acquire nuclear deterrence, the thought-clearing threat that stared us in the face. In a nuclearized South Asia, the respective capabilities of the two neighbors can continue to be a factor of stability if managed with restraint and responsibility. It is towards this end that we have put forward the proposal of a strategic restraint regime, which is premised on three interlocking elements of conflict resolution, nuclear and missile restraint, and conventional balance. If pursued with sincerity, this proposal can lay the foundation of lasting peace and stability in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, recently, consistent with its commitment to act as a responsible nuclear state, Pakistan has proposed to India to translate the respective voluntary unilateral nuclear test moratorium into a more binding bilateral arrangement. Such an agreement can come into effect without waiting for the CTBT to enter into force. This would be a crucial confidence-building measure which can pave the way for future bilateral arms control and restraint measures. It will also add value to the existing nuclear CBMs agreed between the two countries.